So today I want to talk about nostalgia. I think it's safe to say that I have an obsession with candles. I think it's even truer to say that I have an obsession with fragrance just in general. The way my mind works, fragrance smells are so closely tied with emotions that even a single smell can bring me all the way back to my childhood. I'm sure it's true for you as well. But speaking of childhood, do you recognize that house behind me? It's not my house. That belonged to Kevin Arnold. What, you don't believe me? You know, they never quite did say where the Wonder Years took place, but this is the very street where you would have seen Kevin Arnold, Paul Pfeiffer, and Winnie Cooper playing football on the street at the beginning of every episode, and the Arnold residence right here, looking very much the same as it always did. So no small deal for me. The house, the residence of my childhood crush, Winnie Cooper. And as you can see, Winnie's house, Kevin's house, essentially right across the street from each other. Many episode, Kevin Arnold would walk down this path and knock on that front door to speak with Winnie. The episode where he gave her the Christmas gift. Many episodes, they would have eventually moved to a different house, but I think this is the house that most will remember Winnie Cooper living in. So this is the spot, the precise spot where Winnie Cooper would have been sitting on the sidelines as the boys played football on the street. A show that's synonymous with childhood and growing up, coming of age. Definitely nostalgic. Does it bring you back to your youth? It brings me back to mine. So, we're in an awesome spot. As soon as I walked into this place, I was just flooded with nostalgia. And a large part of that is the smell. This place smells like the 80s. It's incredible. I don't know if it's the comic books. I don't know if it's the movie posters. Got Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I don't know if it's the t-shirts, the toys. I don't know what it is.
My name is Larry Ross. My wife and I run Blast from the Past here in Burbank. We've been doing this for 13 years, 14? 13. 13 years.
And let me tell you, as soon as I opened the door, I'm like, oh, it's home. Associations, memories, sure. Nostalgia, where fragrance brings us.
Yeah.
And you have a toy here, and you were telling me just before that this brings you back to childhood in some way.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, just opening a toy and the idea you can play with a toy. This one happens to have a little bit of a crack here, so you can smell the toy inside. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Right there at the.
Oh yeah. There you go. This is a crazy question. If I were to create a candle, or a company were to create a candle that was titled Toys, My Toys, Toy Chest, and it smelled like your toys, your toy chest growing up, you know, when you would just dig through that chest of all the toys in there and you pick out your favorite toy. If there was a candle that would actually fill your home with that smell, is that something that's a little bit too strange and obscure, or is that something that you'd be curious enough to actually burn?
Oh, I would have to try it out.
Okay.
I don't know if I would keep going back, because it's something I'd be very curious about.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the time you hear a new idea and it just, your first reaction is, no. But you try it and it's like, well, that's pretty good.
You know, it's something similar along those lines, a candle called Arcade. I mean, imagine how creative and obscure and wildly complex you could make that candle. Because what does an arcade smell like? First, feelings, you walk in, it's always get that freezing AC, it's dark, neon colors,
dark,
bubble
bright,
gum,
and noise.
Now and later candy, Starburst candy, Skittles.
Okay,
popcorn kind of crunched up on the
Oh,
floor.
wow, popcorn.
And just that electricity in the air, the pinball machines.
I don't love popcorn, but I love the smell of popcorn because
Yeah.
it's movie theaters and I'm going to see something and it could be awesome.
It could be awesome.
It's good to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So tell me, where have you seen this guy? It's the Hitchhiking Ghost.
So this is Bearded Ladies Mystic Museum, and what we specialize in the actual museum is fortune telling, mysticism, paranormal, kind of ghosts and whatnot. In the actual gift shop, we try and carry anything that's like-minded to that, or just fun for our customers that they would be interested in. We love candles, we love we have tea as well, so anything aromatic, all about it. Right now we have a Ghost and Witches art show, and then we also have a very large vintage Halloween collection up. And it's just kind of showing the history of Halloween, how it first came to America, and there's like a history on witches and all the superstitions and how they got the look that they have.
I found this on the internet, and I was really intrigued by the company. I have to get it, but I would love to get your opinion if you don't mind. So here you go. Give that a smell and just initial impressions.
This one's one of my favorites, and I think because of that, I really love warm smells. I love sandalwood, I love amber. For me, this is nostalgia in a cup. And for everyone it's different, but I think I'm a stay-at-home, cuddle up in front of a TV type person, and I think that the smell kind of correlates with that. But yeah, I love this one.
Just like you would a wine and food pairing.
Sure.
If you were going to burn this at home, and you got a nice, cool, quiet evening, turn down the lights, you're going to put a movie on, what movie do you think would go wonderful with this scent?
Honestly, since it's called Witch Hunt, I really did love the new movie, The Witch, and I am a huge fan of just the cinematography in that movie. And I would honestly probably, like, for the first time, be able to watch it in my house. I would burn that with it. But yeah, I think it's a great movie, but great candle.
So super happy. Well, Stephanie, thank you
Oh,
very
of course.
much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Super cool. Which movie is this from? A Tim Burton classic. All right, so the days are dwindling down. It's getting closer and closer to Halloween, and I'm in some desperate need of Halloween supplies. T-shirts, decorations, things of that nature. And whenever you need Halloween supplies, well, what better place to be than Halloween Town? Now, I knew this, but there's absolutely no photography inside their establishment, and I want to completely respect their rules and regulations, but that doesn't mean I can't show you what I purchased. So I've been eyeballing this t-shirt, the Monster Squad, the 80s classic. I've been eyeballing that t-shirt for about 3 years, and I wanted to come by today and pick it up. And how could I also pass up killer clowns from outer space? In space, no one can hear you eat ice cream. Is that what it says? In space, no one can eat ice cream. Makes absolutely no sense, but that was one of the most fun 80s sci-fi horror flicks of the 80s, if you ask me. Can somebody tell me something? Marlowe. Marlowe. Is this referring to the literary character Philip Marlowe? As in, like, Humphrey Bogart, The Big Sleep, private detective? Because if it is, and if I could smell like Philip Marlowe, I think I want to buy this. All right, no more fooling around. It's childhood time. Wall to wall soda, nostalgia, candy. Look at this. There's something here for everybody. I always wanted one of those. My mom wouldn't buy me one. Zagnut, Bundaberg, ginger beer. It's one of my favorites, very popular in the bar scene. It's gonna be a sweeter ginger beer that's usually used in Moscow mules. Our friends from Abita down in New Orleans. What's great about all of this candy is that I use this candy as descriptors all the time when describing candles or when describing any kind of aroma. Squirrel nut zippers. I can't tell you how many times I've used squirrel nut zippers as a descriptor. All right, big question coming up. Red vines or Twizzlers? Turkish taffy. You've had this before, right? Now and laters. Totally reminds me of Little League baseball. All right, so you've heard me use this as a descriptor before. Necco wafers. They are still around.
My name's Jack Cross. I've owned Rocket Fizz in Burbank. We've owned it since 2009. Been around 7 years. Well, I remember the days when I was a kid type guy where, you know, childhood favorites and old school candy and soda.
So like the smell of candies.
Exactly, yeah, it just brings you back to when you were a kid and times were a lot more simpler and more enjoyable.
And how much do you think a part of fragrance, aroma plays in bringing you back as a child?
I think it has a lot to do with it. I mean, if you get a certain scent or a certain flavor or a certain smell, it kind of brings you back to, like I say, your childhood times when things were simpler. You know, you're out riding your bike or whatever and you're refreshing yourself with something to drink, or you get your favorite candy or something. It just makes things better. I think when I see my kids, you know, I have older daughters that are in their 20s, and you try to go what their childhood memories are, and they really don't have any. And I try to instill like what I remember when I was a kid, and them not having it kind of made me go, wow, maybe I should reinvent that. So if I could see kids coming in today and hopefully see them again 15 years from now and say, hey, I remember when I was a kid and we had this candy and soda store we went to all the time and it was awesome. That's what I want to happen. Jack,
thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem at all.
So Jack from Rocket Fizz, super nice guy. I asked him to put together his pick of top 4 diverse, nostalgic soda pop. And I think he gave me a great selection. I'm gonna bring these home, put a nice chill on them, and do a side-by-side comparison. Of course, I'm going to smell them, but I'm not an idiot. I'm also gonna taste them too. Let's do it.